Hi everybody, happy Friday afternoon. Gonna show you here how I paint in the cold in the winter. It's not ideal, but it works. So what I do is I take and I lay the model on one side and I hit it with paint with just a brush, but I put it on thick. And it minimizes the amount of runs I get. I'm real careful, I watch it. And if it starts to run, I will move it and rotate it. Now this is a little trickier because it's such a big piece, but for like the tractor hood or the fenders, I clamp them right in the vice grips, and I can rotate those as I see the paint moving around. I just rotate the fenders, and I can work those runs, a lot of them out. Like on the hood here, I got the hood's turning out perfect because I have two vice grips in it, on one on each end, and as I watch the paint, I can see the paint moving. So when I got the hood, when I have the hood, I'll get it just a second. As I got the hood here, I put on a thick, very thick coat of paint. I don't even brush it. I don't really even brush it. I just dab it on thick. And so then I move it this way, and I move it this way, and then I move it this way, and then I move it this way, and I do that for probably half an hour. And I see the paint flow, and I can see it moving. But the key is, it can't be hot. The metal can't be hot. The paint can't be hot, or it just sets up. It sets up right away. So the trick is that it's cold. So people always say, Don, show us how you paint. Well, in the summer, if I paint outside, I paint with a gun, and that is no problem. But I just can't stand the overspray and everything. It just ruins everything, and I don't have a paint room, and my shop's too small to do it. So this is what I do. But if the paint goes on thick, I got 2 or 3 coats, and I don't really even brush it with a brush as much as I dab it on, just as thick as I can get it. And I mean, it's thick. And as I move it around, I watch the paint, and if I see it running down here on the edge, I turn it this way. Sometimes I even turn it upside down, and it's not perfect, but I think you'll be surprised to see what a nice thick paint job that it is. And this one still gets another coat. So people, I wanted to show people it's nothing great. Let me see the camera just a second, Deb, and I want to show them how I just put the next coat of paint on this side right here, and I'm laying it on thick. You can see it flowing even on the 3-point. You can see it. You can see that it's just shiny. It just looks like it's sopping wet. So see it right there. But I get the level, and I make sure that it's level. So when she starts a flowing, it levels itself right out. And sometimes it's hard to see it in the camera, but you can see even on the engine, I just lay that paint on there. It just flows down into the cracks and crevices. And this is still the second coat of the Tractor Supply store paint. So I'm getting a very good base coat on there, on this 4020, before I even put the John Deere green on it. So right now, where I am is I'm right here on the seat. So you can kind of see me just starting to lay this next coat of yellow on. So I'll give this back to Deb. All right, Deb. And you can see, I wanted you to see it close up because you're gonna all be shocked thinking, he paints them with a paintbrush? How crude is that? But I've tried all the spray cans, and I can lay it on there good with a gun, no problem. I've been doing it for 20 years. But to do it with a paintbrush, it's a little tricky. So, but I can do it, and I can then after it sets for a week or so, after, because I heat up the shop every day during the day, and then if there is any flaws, which there always is, I'm sure no painter, so you can see me just laying, and this here is not sideways, so I'm careful not to put as much on if it's not laying flat. But if you put on thinner coats, even with the brush, it adds up. So here I am, just slowly taking my time and painting it and watching it. And then after a couple weeks of it, the last coat drying, then I can take some fine sandpaper and sand it, and then wet sand it, and then hand rub it out. I just hand rub out the big open spots. So if any of you want to try doing that, but the key is, you would think it would be the other way around. You'd think if the paint was warm, the metal was warm, it would flow on there, but it don't. When it's all warm, and you try painting with a paintbrush, and you try putting it on thick, everything's warm and it sets up right away. And so then you see all the lines. And so only from kind of doing it so long, I realized that actually the cold is my friend on paint day. And then after it's on and after it's set, then I crank the old heat up in here and bring it up to 70 degrees. And then the paint stops flowing after a while, even in the cold. But then when I bring it up to a warm temperature, then it actually starts drying. So you can see it shines great. So here I am right now. I did a little bit more on the plow this afternoon, and but Deb and I took a 2-hour lunch, 3 hours, who knows, 4 hours. Sheesh.
We were retired.
I'm glad we're not working for anybody, because we're the boss. We're the owners.
I'm the boss.
Deb's the boss. Sorry.
Not we. No we.
Okay. She's the boss, and she says, "You're taking a 3-hour lunch." I take a 3-hour lunch, and I'm just like nervous. I'm nervous and shaking while we're going.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's it.
And I said, "I got to get back. I got to get back to my job," And she said, "You sit right there." She says, "You sit right there in that car and you enjoy the sunshine with me."
And you only speak when I ask you to.
Yes, and so this is why we get along. Because I think I'm the boss, but she tells me I'm not. So when I'm not with her, I am the boss. When we're together, I'm still the boss, but she tells me I'm not. Okay, guys, now that we got that done.
Got that solved.
There, I got the first side of the rear plow wheel. It looks 100% different. So now I'll show you real quick, be painting the other side. But I got to be careful because it's cold paint on cold metal, so it's still moving a little bit. I can see it moving. And this is crazy. But people want to know. I get a few people ask and say, "Don, show us how you paint." And like I say, most of the years, I even painted with the gun in here for a few years. But I mean, it gets on everything, just a coat.
Mist.
I thought some of the smaller models, I could paint with the gun. Say, well, I'll turn the air pressure down just a hair so don't go as much, but it's the same. It's the same paint spray everywhere. So So because I'm almost done building models, I think, hey, this is fine. So this is my relaxation. This is my retirement fund, and I'm just gotta enjoy it, because man, I'm getting really close to being 70 years old. Deb and I still do good. We get up every morning and we take turns and get on the treadmill 7 days a week during the winter, because it's too icy to walk outside. Can you see that, Deb, a little bit?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And so I do my stretches first and do everything, and I jog in place, and then I hop on the treadmill and do that. And some mornings it's rough. Get 69 years old, it's rough. But we think positive every day, and we think of people who can't even do that, and
Right.
it reminds us that we really are blessed to still be together after 48 years and still have so much fun together, and that just we promised each other we'd grow old together, and it's been great. We don't have a lot. That's why I got all these little garden tractors. We never had much money. I bought them all for almost all of them I bought for under $100. Some of them for $50. The clutches were all bad in them. The mowers were bad. The steering was bad. The engines wouldn't run. And they say, oh yeah, it runs good, and so it just needs a battery. So I plucked out $50, $60, and got them home, and that was my enjoyment, actually getting them running. And then, watch out, because no way was I going to restore a Montgomery Ward's tractor with all the rare parts that thing would need, all the expensive parts, or a Simplicity, or the wheel horse tractors. That's why these people get ready to haul them to the junk, because just for a clutch they want like $50 or $100 for the clutch, the mower, for the clutch mower, engagement mower, or part for the mower. And most of the mower bearings are junk, so they just sit out beside their house, and they sit out in the weeds and just rust away. And so you stop and you ask them, say, no, we're getting ready to haul that to the junk. And so we say, well, how much would you let that go for? And they say, well, what do you give me? And I know enough that it's worth $50, or if they're worth $75, and sometimes they say on the phone, oh, it don't run, well, it needs a battery. So sometimes I'll take a battery and put in it, and I can hear it trying to start. So I know that everything's pretty close to being working. So there's that side. And I put it on a little thinner because I don't want it to run crazy on that first coat. But I don't know if you can, it's a light right, Deb, there, so you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
So this is the cheap Tractor Supply Rust-Oleum, and that's pretty. I've been really happy with this paint. I had some struggles with that. What was that other brand, Deb? We got.
We'll start with the M.
And we bought some tractor paint for a couple years, and I just had so much problems with it.
Blistered, and you had to sand them all down
And
again.
it wouldn't dry at all. So this stuff is
It
been
might
around.
be good. It just isn't a name brand.
But
You know,
it's
you're
still
not
Rust-Oleum.
paying-
I've had pretty good luck with
Right.
the
That's what I
Rust-Oleum.
mean. You're not paying for the name John Deere or whatever.
So I'm gonna set this here, but every 5 minutes or so I'll turn that, because that paint's still moving. It's crazy to think that happens, but this paint right here, if I set this up right now, that paint would start running. So it's just still laying out there. I mean, it shines just like it's glass. So in a few minutes I'll crank on the heat, because I know it's as smooth now as it's ever going to be. So I'll crank on the heat, And so that kind of gives you a little bit idea. So now this side will have to dry for a few days, and then I'll do the same exact thing. In a few days I'll flip this. I'll probably flip this over and do the other side the first with the John Deere paint. So then that'll be the last coat. So by the time this old girl's completely painted, the plow should have its first coat done, and that should be looking good. So this will be good. This will be dry enough in the morning that you can touch it. But so if I start sanding on this, all that dust won't stick to that paint. It's just that you can't press hard on it because your fingerprint will show. So okay, so there's one other thing, and that is some of you might have heard of this Farm Show magazine. Well, they contacted me. Jim contacted me the last couple days and wanted to do another one of my projects in there. So we got all the little questions and that he had for me, and so we're gonna, looks like I might be in there again. He said, I knew I've been in there a few times over the years, and he told me today that I've been in there I've been in there 10 times, so I don't know if that was, sometimes there was more than one of my projects in there, but it's pretty cool. When I was, I love this, I love these, looking at all these ideas. This is me. When I look at this stuff, all these things these people make on their farms, this is just 100% how my brain works. And when I was a little boy on the farm, my stepdad got Successful Farming and Farm Journal, and I couldn't wait till he got done reading it, or kind of after he had it for a few weeks. And I always would cut the back, in the back page, or the back couple pages, there was like farm ideas, and I would cut them out and put them in my little, I stapled them all together over the years. So I had, like, I don't know, maybe I probably had, and even when we went back after after Deb and I got married, whenever we would go back to the farm visit, I'd always look for the Successful Farming or the Farm Journal magazine, and I'd say, Ma, can I get them, rip them out of the bag? She said, sure. And so I would always get them. I did that probably for 10 or 20 years. So I had just recently, I don't know, a year ago, we did some major cleaning, and I picked up that folder from one of my filing cabinets, and I said, Deb, it's time to get rid of this. I mean, it was hard to do because that was a lot of memories for me, a lot of ideas from when I was young. So I knew back then even that I must have had some inkling to want to build things, but this is the next best thing, is Farm Show. And I just absolutely love looking at all the things that farmers and everybody makes. Just something so simple a lot of the time. So if you guys get Farm Show, you can kind of watch for my next project in there. And so that's pretty cool. Those guys are still doing this and doing a great job, and I think Mark's kind of retiring, and or maybe not as involved in it, but now Jim's doing it, and so it's been pretty fun. So if you don't get Farm Show, or if you want to just see what it's about, most farm tractor supply stores carry this. They have like a big thick book, and then they have these smaller books here, and then they have like a newspaper one, so you could even just kind of pick one up and just to kind of get an idea. But if you like to weld, or if you like to see other things that people make, man, this is perfect. So okay, so there's that. So okay, what else, Deb? Oh, I better spin this. Ooh, see, it was running. See if you can you see that drip right there?
Oh yeah.
It's still moving. So now if I lay that down flat, or even if you got it, but see, who would think that would still be moving, that paint, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see it moving on this side, so you got to be careful. Same on this, where I just painted it. The flat surfaces will be perfect. They love it. They're perfect, and you can see the 3-point hitch. Everything it's laid right on there. But the ones where I'm kind of going sideways, you can see it moving a little bit, but not too bad because I put it on pretty thin. So that gives you a pretty good idea. My painting, and I know a lot of you are gonna cringe, like he paints with a paintbrush, but it is what it is, guys. This is my metal art, and you got to take the good with the bad, and it's good enough for me. And if people don't like it, then I sure wouldn't make anybody ever buy anything if they didn't like it. So a lot of times when I used to make things for people, I would never tell them. I would never take a deposit on them or nothing in advance, because I said, there's no way I even know how it's going to turn out. So I sure can't make you feel obligated to buy something if I don't even know what it looks like. Even this one, I got a friend here. I got a good friend here that wants this, and but I said, your name's on it first if I sell it, but you're not obligated one iota to buy it, because I don't even know how it's going to turn out. I like it. I know I like it a lot. I mean, part of me wouldn't mind having it, and maybe I'll end up keeping it. Who knows? Especially if he doesn't want it, because I love it. I love this tractor, and I love even the plow. I love. So, but anyway, I've never pressured anybody to have to ever take anything that I've ever built. And so anyway, let's check the paint. See if it's moving. So see, I want to show you this part of it too. So if you turn here, there's my bubble right there. So see, if I did not move this, that bubble would keep going right out here and it'd come right down there. And the rest of the paint wouldn't be bad, but then you'd have that one big run. Because this is the first coat, it's not sticking to the metal as much, but once this dries, and then in a couple days when I put the second coat on, it will go on a lot. It'll stick to this first coat a lot better. So, but I'm very happy. So this, now you guys know, how I do it, how I paint, and I want to show you one more thing. This, I didn't think you could tell the difference. But here's when I painted the other side of these rims the other day, I got a couple of runs that came through a couple of these holes. Deb, can you see that difference in the yellow?
Yeah, I can, definitely.
We couldn't hardly tell it before, but look at the difference. And this is the real John Deere paint.
Oh, it is?
This is the yellow. This is the Tractor Supply yellow.
Gee, I actually like the Tractor Supply yellow better. Yeah.
It's hard to believe that is so much different. When you look at them separate, you can't tell that much difference,
Yeah.
But when you look at this one where it actually ran onto the John Deere,
yeah.
let me maybe hold that to the light. Can you see it?
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, sure.
And it was so I'm glad I'm using the real John Deere paint on the last coat. So okay, everybody. It's Friday. What's for supper, Deb? Burnt. Oh, don't tell me.
Most of my stuff's burnt. You should know. No, you should.
I know, and I like it. I'm not complaining.
Good.
It's just I like it a lot.
Most of my stuff's burnt.
I prefer it.
Right. You never complain.
No.
You always say, "Wow, that's good."
That's what makes our marriage so strong. Is you burn it just perfect.
Okay, and I'm going for you.
You made cinnamon rolls, and they were burnt perfect, and
exactly.
We had fish fry.
I got that burning down pat.
We had fish fry for lunch, and you burned the French fries perfect.
Exactly.
You burnt the fish.
Right.
So that was perfect. So really, seriously, she didn't burn the chicken. She didn't burn the soup. You didn't burn the cinnamon rolls.
What I had before, I burnt the cinnamon rolls.
Well, I don't remember.
Yeah, because I scraped the bottom off.
Oh, so that's why part of them were missing? That's why they were only like half as thick as it. Oh, because you cut them off?
You're right, exactly. Sharp knife. Yeah, exactly.
So the bottom half looked different than the top?
Yeah, you didn't flip them over. That's your problem.
Brother.
Okay, let me go.
Okay, you want to Give them the thumbs up. Tell them to have a nice
I
weekend,
don't
you
know where
guys.
the camera is, somewhere around there. Oh, there we go.
Tell them.
Okay. Oh,
Have
what?
a nice weekend, you guys.
Have a nice weekend, you guys.
Thanks for all the nice comments that you give to my husband.
All right. Thanks for all the nice comments and comments about the grandson, the daughter, the son-in-law.
He really enjoys them.
Yeah, you do look at them,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of really nice,
Yeah.
nice ones. So that is true.
Yeah.
That they write some awful nice stuff in
Really.
there.
And so there's a lot
So
of
many
people,
compliments.
a lot of
and-
people out there that's bummed right now. I mean,
Yeah.
we understand because Deb and I help each other every day to stay positive. So if you didn't have somebody, it would be rough.
It
It would
be
be
rough.
really rough.
And then if you hear the news and you hear all that stuff, that's just rough. So
So we don't watch the news anymore, and we try to stay away from the
political,
the rough stuff,
all this stuff,
the rough
yeah.
stuff, and I know it's hard to stay away from because it's everywhere. It is everywhere.
Ah, yeah.
Deb and I watch at night. We don't watch the news, and we don't watch any of the killing, murder shows.
No.
We basically watch a lot of the cooking channel, and we watch the old movie channel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And Deb watches Wheel of Fortune. And what
Jeopardy.
else? Jeopardy.
Yeah.
yes. And then she reads quite a bit. And
So. Okay.
okay, so everybody, have a nice Friday night. And let me spin this. Let me
Okay.
see my bubble. Ooh, it's gone.
Great.
See, it's gone.
Great.
It's still flowing. So.
All
So anyway,
righty.
okay, guys. See you maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. No, I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Thanks, Deb, for your input and,
I try not to say anything, but sometimes I just got to speak up.
sometimes I'll grab the camera and you can say hi.
No, we won't go that far.
Oh.
Okay.
Now you're pushing it.
Now you're pressing your luck.
Okay.
Okay,
All
bye.
right, bye, guys.